Back to today's vlog. So today we're going to do an oil change. I got myself some Quaker State synthetic blend. My truck takes 530, so that's what this oil is. I'm going to try out this oil. I usually do a Quaker State high mileage, but I got that, the filters. And what I like to do every time I do an oil change is some gas treatment and some fuel injector cleaner. To do that after the oil change to put in there. It's one thing that I like to do. So what I normally do first, a lot of times too, if you don't know what oil your car takes, it might have it on the cap. So it'll tell you on the cap of what type of oil you can actually put in your vehicle. I like to take the cap off and I like to take the stick out. Okay, so now we're going to take off the plug, which is under the vehicle, of course. So if you guys have never changed oil in a car, this is one way of changing oils. There's all kinds of different ways, however you want to do it. So I'm going to show you where the plug is on this truck. Okay, so my oil pan plug is right here. Mine's a 15 millimeter. Other people's or maybe something else. Yours might be different. But all you do is you just follow the oil pan, and then you see the plug right there. And then my oil filter, which is actually up there. So my oil filter is going to be right there. So I got it all drained. So I let it drain for a good 10-15 minutes just to drain the oil. So I got a plug here. I like doing this. You don't have to do it, but I do like doing this. I just like getting some fresh oil and just putting it on the plug itself, on the seal and everything. Then just kind of rub a little bit of clean oil on there. I like doing it. I mean, you don't have to do it. I just feel like it helps to seal it, so a lot of times it won't go bad. Stuff like that, that's why I do it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to get back into the car here. And I'm going to wipe this off and tight for now. Then I like to clean off all the excess oil. Okay, so now, since I have that back on. Alright guys, so this oil, I went probably about 6,800 miles. And if you look at it, it's really not too dirty. It's, you know, it's not bad at all. So, but it's still bad because I did go 6,800 miles on that oil. Okay, so now since I pulled that out, now I'm going to tighten this up. Just tighten it up until it's nice and snug on there. So if it's nice and snug, that's where it needs to be. You don't want to over tighten it because you don't want to ruin your threads or anything like that. So that should be good. So if you don't have an oil filter wrench, can't talk. So if you don't have an oil filter wrench, I suggest get one of these. The one that's actually hooked and everything. These usually get every oil filter possible off of your car. I figured out these are the best ones to have. So now guys, the oil filter down here, pretty much you just want to get your trusty oil filter wrench. And just slowly give it a few little turns with your oil filter wrench. And then now, So you just start twisting off the oil filter. Yeah, you're gonna have oil and everything draining off of it. We have the oil filter off. So find the spot that your oil filter goes to, which is up here. Just wipe it off. Just wipe it all nice and clean. Make sure that that other gasket came off. Because there is times, I've done it, I'm pretty sure a lot of other people have done it. They left the other gasket on it and then put a new filter on, and then it started leaking like a sieve. And then you kind of wonder, why is it leaking? So, it's right up there. So I want to show you guys where it is, which is, it's really hard because the shroud's in the way, but mine's right there. So, I mean, that's what it looks like. Just clean it up real nice, and then we'll put the new filter on here in just a minute. So here is the brand new oil filter. I had to put a funnel in it just to put the oil in. So what I like to do is I like to get oil. You don't have to do this. I mean, you know, there's people saying you have to, you don't have to. I mean, it kind of goes both ways. You can if you want. Or if you don't want to do it, just put the filter back up. You don't have to do this. But what I like to do, this is what I like to do. So I like to put a little bit of oil in the filter. And then after I put that oil in the filter, I like to put some oil on my finger and just put it around this gasket right here. So there's a gasket that goes around your filter. I like to put it around that, you know, get a little bit on the threading. Just kind of put it across the whole thing. Again, you don't have to do it if you don't want to. You can just put it up. When you start your vehicle, the oil is going to automatically go to your oil filter. So, I mean, in reality, you really don't have to do this. So now I'm going to get back on the vehicle here. So now I like to get the oil cap. I'll clean it off and everything before I do this. But I like to put a little bit of oil on my finger and just put it around the oil cap too. Again, you don't have to do this, but I like to do this just because. Alright, so now we're going to start filling this up with oil. We're going to give her nice liquid. Leave that in there for a second. And then now, guys, so I went to Point S to get some new tires, and I just barely even kind of saw this, which I didn't even see it. But that tire has only got 15 PSI on it, and so either it was already losing air and they didn't put any air in it, because that one's not even at 30 PSI either. So I think these tires don't have any air in them. I got a feeling this one was already kind of going flat from the cold or something. Shout out to Point S, the guy that put the 2 new tires on the back, and didn't pump my tire up, because these ones were on the rear, and I had to get 2 new tires because the front ones were bad, so I could pass my inspection. Before I was interrupted is I'm gonna have to go air this tire up, because I don't think Point S aired my back tires up. With these 2 front, they were in the rear, they were in the back, but I had to switch them to the front. This one's only got 50 PSI, and the other side's only got about 27 PSI, which these should be at about 35. And I checked the back's at 35, so they did do the back when they took them off, and they didn't do anything with these, which it might have already been losing air. I've just never noticed it. But anyway, guys, well, I will give a shout out to Point S. They sell amazing tires and everything, so if you guys need tires, Point S Tire Factory is the way to go. Alright, so now guys, I'm going to put the big jug in. And my truck, it takes 6 quarts of oil. If you don't know what your car takes, then I would actually advise just getting a 5 quart, filling it up, or you can check your owner's manual. That will tell you how much to put in your car, what type of oil to put in your car. Drink up. So I'm gonna hurry up and fill this up for you guys, and then I want to show you a really cool feature that this truck has, and some cars actually have. So there is a feature that a lot of cars have, some trucks have, like this truck. You actually have to reset your oil sensor. So I will show you guys how to do that. So if you've ever had like a newer vehicle, you know, from 2004 and up, and your oil light always comes on and you don't know why, well, this right here is most likely either the reason why, or you have a bad sensor. But I'm going to show you how to reset the oil sensor, because every time you change your oil, you do have to reset the sensor. So I will show you guys that. The cool feature that is in the truck, so you got to put it on accessory mode. Turn my radio down so you guys can hear this. So you want to pump your gas. Then if you guys heard that beep, that means the sensor and everything just reset itself. So now, you know, just start it up, let everything kind of get flowing. But that is how you guys reset your sensor, is you put it in accessory mode, and then you pump on the gas until you hear the beep, beep, beep. Once you hear that, then your oil light and everything is reset. And a lot of people in some cars, this kind of feature is actually in a lot of cars, trucks, stuff like that, from the year of like 2004 and up in a lot of cars. Some cars don't have that, but that's always a thing to look at. If your oil light keeps coming on and you don't know what's wrong with it, so instead of replacing an oil sensor, try that first. If that don't fix the problem, then go get yourself a new oil sensor. So if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe. And I will see you guys next video.
Street lights along the highway, throwing shadows in the dark.